Mugeche. The channel is bringing hope in life, and I'm grateful to God. This is the day that the Lord has made, and the Bible says what? We should be glad and rejoice in it. So I'm back with a bang. I'm back with a bang, 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 bang. The humor about Anna, the story about Anna. I have already done one series. In case you are new, I am giving my story, the story behind Anna, to encourage someone who has been cursing the environment in which he or she was brought up. Have you subscribed? Please do become a member of this family where we use experiences to encourage others, where we use experiences to give hope to someone. So in case you haven't subscribed, please do watch that first episode of my story and yes, become a part of this family. I said I'm normally not like this, and if you visit that story, you're going to see that I said for the last 4 months I've not gone back to work, and I realized that I still have another 6 more to stay in the house. And if you see me behaving in a funny way, nikisema negotigeria jao, this is the far the quarantine has taken us. Even if the what do we call it again? The oh my God, when you stay in the house, you forget English. When the lockdown is opened. I thank God for this opportunity to share this with you. This is what I'm doing currently, and I'm doing in the house. Where did we reach? We reached where I said a few decades ago, I am a millennial. You know millennials? Brought up by a boomer baby of parents. Find out what they mean. And you know when you are a millennial, when you are a millennial, the Y generation brought up by boomer babies of, what generation was that again? The boomer babies, those ones who were born in 1940s and 1950s, something like that. Then you should know the verse in the Bible that talks about spare the rod and spoil the child worked very well in that generation. So are you a millennial bringing up Z generation? We are in problems, but God is faithful. So I was in high school, in a village in high school. Remember, I'm using this story to encourage somebody. This is my story. That is the story of Mugeche. These are the series that I've decided to do, especially in this season when you're facing a pandemic and uncertainties, so that you don't curse the environment in which you are born or brought up. You don't complain about why you are brought up in such an environment. You are born in such a family. I was in village, in a high school village, a short girl. Where are those photos? Do you have photos for your high school? I was in a boarding school, and these are the photos that I found out, and I want to share them with you. Look at that. The millennials. This is one of the corridors of my high school. That is how I used to look. So you can see how much I have become a mama. Nimekuwa mama. Mami with you. Not fake. There comes the humor. That is me. In the days, you know. That is me. As short as I was, I used to be a hockey player. It may have a reflection of something that I can see here, which is blue in color. So that is Mugeche in high school. And lastly, after finishing high school and becoming a young lady, this was back in 2004. That is me with a buddy. Look at that. You just laugh at me. I am double sure. But behind every woman, there is a story. Behind every man, there is a story. Behind every success, there is a story. And you know what? Even there is Jesus, or God is a God of story. So all of us have a story, and this is my story. So in high school, I was very young. I said I'm a millennial. My parents are boomer babies, those ones born then, and Ken, Kiboko, was a part of my life. Brought up in with 7 siblings of girls, kupigwa ilikuanga number 1. Z generation, that is the generation that we are bringing up now or raising now, is a generation whereby, I don't know, are you guys, you are a parent, are you using a cane? I don't know. But I think with this Z generation, we can just talk and talk and talk. But you know what? Being a disciplinarian like me, nitachapa. Remember we said so I'll not say everything because I want you to ask me questions after this series. High school, a very short girl, a very young girl, a very naive girl, fetching water from the river for some time, working in the shamba when we are not in school, and doing all what typical village girl could do, but very naive when it comes to boys. I schooled when I was very young. I went to high school when I was not even in my puberty stage, until when I was in Form 3, that is when I started realizing some things. If you have done that science, you know what I'm talking about. That is the time you become an adolescent. Are you a parent of adolescent? Nowadays, the Z generation, the Z generation are growing up very, very, very early. And this is a generation, you can bear me witness and you can agree with me, beating is a problem. But you know what? They are your children. You are a parent like me, you are a millennial like me, raising a Z generation, you know how tough it has become. But spare the rod, spoil the child. That is the Bible that says that. Does it say that? Yes. It's not me. So they are your children. Teachers, where are you? Teachers are disciplinarians, but right now, we have our children. I salute you, teachers. By the way, you as a parent, have you reached out on the teachers? Ask me why I am so much interested with the teachers. Because I'm a stakeholder. Now you know. I am a stakeholder in education. Education of our children, I am a stakeholder. And that's why I'm so much concerned about the teachers, because they are home. And you are home, you parents, with your children for another 6 months. So salute your teacher, reach out for them, especially those who are in private school. They need to be reached out to. I've used preposition to and out. Why? You know what? Staying in the house is eroding our English away. Because for me, I don't like speaking English in the house, because I want that vernacular for my children to learn my roots, which I believe is very, very important. Kwa Kiswahili tunasemanga, wait. Once again, the disturbance is coming. I said of late I'm hiding myself and taking the video on my own, because there are people who are looking for my attention very much. And where was I? Now, once again, I'm lost. So I went to boarding school. That is a high school boarding school. I had stopped by saluting the teachers. Salute your teachers. Reach out to them. Talk to them. It is not easy to be in the house. You know what I'm talking about. Doing I don't know what. Now, this is what I'm doing. And I am doing out to reach out to people and telling them it is well. Whether you are brought up like me in an environment which was tough, whether you went to the shamba for so long or the longest time, it is not in vain. Whether you are beaten like me, Cain was the discipline. Mistake was not an option in that home. So you make a mistake and the hot thing is on you. You are girls, so it was here. And that is what has made me to be what I am. Parents, in case you're watching this with your parents, with your children, please do. And know that when they are disciplined, when they are rebuked, they are not rebuked in vain. Once upon a time, they will be on their own. They will be a mama kama mimi, and they will be on their own to see how they are going to bring up their children. Am I saying something? I was beaten. I was disciplined. We were all beaten. How much were you beaten? By the way, have you subscribed? Subscribe and tell me how much you are beaten if you are a millennial of the earlier. No, there are millennials of later and earlier. Where are you? At the center? Katikati? Kanahari ade? Which millennial are you? Which millennial were you? And how much beating was done to you? Leave me a comment and tell me whether you can identify with my story. Was beating paramount? Was it very important? How has it shaped you? Which school did you school? Even if you schooled in a town school, how was the discipline in your home? And how are we doing it to our children? Now here I'm talking at the capacity of a mother and a parent. I have passion for family here. By now, if you are a member of my family, this one, my channel, you know how passionate I am about family. You know how passionate I am about children. Because I've done videos about parenting. I've done videos about families and relationships. Please do subscribe. We are in the hashtag 500 subscribers. We've reached the target of 100 plus. Hashtag 500. Please do subscribe and help me shout out hope. Keep hope alive in this season when we need it very much, because it is dangerous to live a hopeless life. We need that hope and we need to speak positive in our lives. This is my story. A story behind annmugeche. It is coming again. I am not through, and it will be coming with humor. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you are entertained. Another one is coming. My story. Don't forget to subscribe, and I have to go now. Salute and shalom.